We got Kelsey, Stephanie, and Aaliyah Boston.
No, the only update is she did not practice today. We're going to keep evaluating it day by day, but knowing that we have the full week, we'll give her an opportunity to make sure that she's as close to 100% as possible before we throw her out there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next up.
By the way, if you're new to the channel, before we continue, if you're new to the channel, I have this channel, I have Indiana Fever Unfiltered, and I have Washington Mystics Unfiltered. I had made a whole bunch of other ones. Yes, I did, but it's too goddamn hard. So what I'll be sticking to is these three for now. I'm not going to create other stuff on other channels. I know I created them and I had logos, but I'm not creating them. And so, yeah, do me a favor, subscribe to these, and we'll be putting out content on all these channels, man. So I appreciate that. But, yeah, I don't I recommended watching the video that I was featured on. That's what I meant. That's what I recommended. NVIDIA, please read what I said. I said, I recommended the video that I was featured on. You will get some enjoyment from it. I got plenty of enjoyment from it. I loved it. Just watch the two parts. Compare the commentary of the three different people that are on that image, and you will hear mine, and you will hear the others. And I tell you, you will enjoy mine. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I enjoyed it. I am open-minded and I am objective. I enjoy it. Where is the meter? I don't know how to do that on this screen, man. I don't know how to do that on this screen. I don't know how people do some of this stuff. I don't know how to do some of this stuff.
Will be Roberta. Roberta will be followed by Blake.
My question is for the coach to hear how you see Damiris Dantas' role with the team this year.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? So you bring a reporter on here to ask you about Damiris Dantas. Is this what? So this is like from the Rio Press or something? The Sao Paulo News? Like, what the fuck? Did they just literally send over a Brazilian reporter to ask about Damiris Dantas, the most useless player on his basketball team? In this one, if I'm Stephanie, I'm like, first I'd be like, are you really asking me about Damiris Dantas? She's gonna play like 4 minutes a game. If that might be tough. You're just watching one video in the video. You're not watching the channel. You're watching one video. Just go to the parts. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Didi's a player that we can count on to knock down shots. When we need a stretch big out there, she's going to have an opportunity.
She was 0 for 8 in the first game. Were you relying on her then?
Opportunity to be out on the floor. She had a tremendous offseason. She's healthy. She's in great shape, and she's been impressive thus far in camp.
It's my turn?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Blake Fredau from Pick and W Swish.
Did they do this? Are they doing this press conference via video? Why are these questions sounding so garbled? Why are these questions sounding so garbled?
Coach White, what identity do you want offensively, and what's the biggest growth there of your team so far?
I want us to be a fast-paced team that's really hard to guard. We want the ball moving side to side. Really the goal is to play 0.5 to 1 second basketball, get a lot of player movement and ball movement. I think we're continuing to grow a lot in that area. A couple things that I think can still be a growth edge for us is one, like not over dribbling. I think we're over dribbling at times, get it moving. And then two, just be great screeners and cutters. The little things, the details that are going to open up opportunities for one another and for teammates by being a great screener or being a great cutter.
Of course, you're over dribbling if you're taking the ball out of your primary ball handler's hands when she's on the floor. I mean, I'm just saying it. You're gonna have over dribbling when you take the ball to your best playmaker's hands.
And the question for Aaliyah, what's the next step for this team to become a true contender? And what's your approach to controlling the paint on both ends of the floor?
Yeah, I think I'll start with that part. Just continue to be that presence, making sure that I'm calling for the ball, making sure I'm shooting well around the rim, and defensively, just continue to be that post presence that we need. And I think for us, it's just about making sure that we're focused every single night we step on that floor, making sure that we're paying attention to the details because all those little details matter. And so that's just, it's going to have to be our mindset.
Holy shit, she's so boring. God. Are you bored whenever Aaliyah Boston talks like I am? Do you get sleepy? God bless Aaliyah. Can you have some fucking level of personality and say some real shit that makes us say, yeah, you're a dog? We need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do this. How about you say, I need a mutt motherfuckers out there? I gotta mutt people. I gotta dominate. I gotta beat people down. I gotta dominate. Oh my God. Says nothing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Coach. I saw Caitlin Clark was wearing a leg sleeve today. Any particular reason for that?
It's a style thing.
Bullshit. Bullshit. A style thing. For a player that never wears a leg sleeve. For players that wear leg sleeves every day, it is a style thing. For players that don't, it is not a style thing. I'll just leave it at that. She's never worn a leg sleeve. So now today she wears a leg sleeve and you say it's a style thing. So the girl who is the most plain Jane motherfucker on the face of the earth is all of a sudden going to wear something that makes her unplain Jane like. So what is it tomorrow? Tomorrow will she come out with purple hair? Will she come out with freaking 4-inch fingernails too? Well, what's next? You said to cover up bruises? So what, was she getting beaten at home? That she's got bruises from her ankle to her thigh? She's only wearing a damn leg sleeve when there's a problem. So I ain't going to make a video about it. We're doing a live. So I'm not going to make a video about this. But I'm not going to sit here. Let's not talk about someone, about style and all that for something that she never actually does. Never, ever seen her wear a leg sleeve unless there was an issue.
It looks good on her, doesn't it?
She should have just left it alone. Why keep talking about it? It looks good on her, does it? No, it does not. I didn't even see it, but no, it doesn't look good. Because I know it's not good.
It sure does.
The internet seems to think so. Yeah.
Oh my God. What the fuck is this shit? Oh
Well, the internet's a great resource.
my God. You're not a great resource either, by the way.
All right, Jackie, you're up. Jackie, you'll be followed by Yan Yan.
Thanks everyone for taking the time to do this. First, Kelsey, for you, I'm curious, what are some of your earliest memories of this league and how do you reflect upon the league being in its 30th season?
Right? You made me feel so old. Jesus. I remember being two to a room. I remember having to drive to what? Not only Chicago, we was driving somewhere else too for a while. I don't know where that was, but having to fly with the rest of the world was always a thing that I embraced my first.
Did she say that they were driving the games in their own fucking cars? Wait, did she just? Yeah. I remember driving to Chicago. Was she saying that they drove in their own individual cars to road games? Please tell me I'm not crazy. Did she actually just say that or allude to that? In a van. They took a fucking van, a 12-passenger van from Indianapolis to Chicago. And You're complaining about things. They better not complain about nothing anymore. They better not complain about nothing anymore. Not a damn thing.
Couple years in the league and to see where it is now, I'm obviously grateful to be in a position I am. But I think what was also who I am too, and so I want to be where I am without those experiences. But I'm happy to see the league keep making higher up changes, and so I'm just gonna keep embracing it as long as I'm a part of the league and be grateful for the process.
And Stephanie, for you, when you think about this league being in its 30th
Who are these people asking questions? Who are these people asking questions? Jesus Lord.
season, how do you reflect upon the fact, alongside some of the history of the league, that has included moments where the league's business wasn't doing as well, and the public perception of the league was laced with preconceived biases?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, we can never control public perception. So that was never really a thing. I think the biggest thing for me is, having been a part of this league for 28 of the 30 years, is just the growth and evolution of how the game is played, of the athlete in the game, the skill set of the women that are playing the game. It's always been the best players in the world, but the best players in the world are so much better. And just continuing to see them elevate, and then the respect that they're getting, because they are the best in the world at what they do. And I think there's been an intersection of the quote unquote casual fan, recognizing and realizing that these women are elite and that they're fun to watch, and our league is fun to watch, and that they play the right way. And now you combine that with everything that's happening, from just a exposure standpoint, and it's taken off. And so just being able to see from grassroots, where we're driving in vans out to beg people to come to appearances, to now we're like, they're flying all over the world for appearances. Just something as simple as that. But we still have the grassroots mentality of how we interact with the fan, how we interact with community, how we give back to community. And I think that's something that's always special about women's sport and the WNBA in particular.
You just dropped your ticket prices 60% the week of the first game of the season because you can't sell them. Kind of seems like you're still begging people to come to your games. You just dropped your ticket prices 60%. I think you're still begging people to come to your games.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Courtney, I believe I missed you. I'll get you in 1 second. Yan, go ahead, and then Courtney.
Hi, this question's for Coach. You touched upon this a little bit at Fever Media Day last week, but with a few preseason games under your belt and having to navigate the injuries of Lexi and Aaliyah and Monique, what have you learned about load management these first few games of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that exhibition.
Did she really ask about load management? She asked about load management for a 44-game season.
Preseason play is always, trying to get a lot of different, players out there. I think, some of these have been kind of freak things that have happened. It's difficult to really, we track everything. So we have a lot of load management information. But again, we talk all the time about controlling the things that you can control. A lot of the injuries that happened last year were really out of our control. Mo coming down on somebody's foot, kind of out of our control. And so, I think for us,
Aaliyah Boston starting the season off injured is out of your control. I know it was in her control, but out of your control because she's playing in a different league. Lexi Hall starting her season off injured, probably because she was in that same league, out of your control, but in her control. What the fuck is going on here? Load management in a 44-game season.
we have the scientific data. We have the pieces in place to make sure that we're doing things and controlling it as much as we can from that aspect. And then you got to go out and play the game. I mean, injuries are a part of the game. All of us have been through it. Most of us have been through it. And it's just a part of the risk that we take to do what we love to do.
Thank you.
All right. My first question.
They're going to get their ass kicked on Saturday. They're going to get their ass kicked. I would be surprised if they're not blown out on Saturday.
Is for Steph White. You stated that standard is championships. How are you specifically preparing this group to transition from playoff contender to a title favorite heading into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly the standard is to position ourselves for a championship. Like, winning a championship is hard. I mean, anybody who's been a part of championship teams can tell you there's so many things that really have to come into play. Peaking at the right time, being healthy, right matchups, all of those different things. And especially in a series, winning a championship is hard. I think for this group, and I said it at the beginning of last year, there's no substitute for experience. And taking that next step and experiencing what it means to be in the semifinals, going through a season that had a lot of ups and downs, and experiencing the various aspects of what we could do to be better and position ourselves to have a home court, what we could do better to position ourselves to not have to not be in some of the positions that we were in, I think is important. And then it's about mentality, right? It's about the mentality of every day you step on the floor, that you have an opportunity to get better and to be great. And every day, it's a choice. We don't always feel like it. And some days are better than others, but every day we have to step on the floor and have a mentality that we're going to get better, we're going to grow, and that we won't be denied. And that's something that you have to have throughout the course of not just a season, but a series in order to win a championship.
Yes, winning a championship is hard. Yeah, it's hard. No one would ever say it's not hard. It's the reason that your team got to the semifinals is because you need a lot of things to go your way. And in the case of this team last year, they lose their best player, but then they added other players that they didn't have when the season started, who, if they had them when the season started over the decisions that they made last year in the offseason, maybe they would have been better when the year began. Maybe they wouldn't have had to throw Caitlin Clark out there or rushed her back too soon because she was injured when camp started last year and she never got healthy. And now, yes, it's hard, but luck also got you to that Vegas series because no one thought you should win the Atlanta series. Atlanta was better than you, and Atlanta shit on themselves in that last game. So it's hard, yeah. But how about you? I don't even know, man. I don't even know. How about you actually run your best out there? How about you run your best out there? Because what we see as potentially happening, it will not, because you're in a it will not be your best because you'll be load managing.
I had one more for Kelsey.
Oh yeah, one more thing. She also said the experience. The experience for whom? You literally are only bringing back 3 players who played last year in the playoffs. Caitlin did not play. Sophie did not play. You dumped Odyssey Sims, Ari McDonald. Oh, yeah, Michaela Timpson. I don't count her. She's irrelevant. Damaris Donis, was she even on the team anymore? Yeah, again, she was irrelevant. So the players who Shea Petty, Aerial Powers, like the players who played are not on your team this year. There's only 3 that played. Boston, Mitchell, and Hull. So you don't have that experience because most of these players didn't play in that last year.
Coach White mentioning that she wants to win a championship for you specifically, and they're in the whole team. What does that support from your coach and teammates mean to you heading into the season?
Everything that I am and embody is come from like a family like vibe, and I think that's where Steph and I align. That's where me and Aaliyah align. Our culture and everything we are kind of like relies with family, and I think for me, knowing that I have somebody believe in me, knowing I have a post player that believes in me, and I can get that same respect and vice versa, it just feels good to kind of be in the atmosphere where you're valued. And then it makes you put your best effort for everybody else. When they give to me, it's only right that I give back. I told my coach, I was like, I'll go through the wall for you. And people like AB, because when people love you and want to see you do great and they can hold you accountable and know that it comes from love, it just makes everything better. It makes the process a lot easier. And it makes our growth. It makes it worth it, in so many ways. So I'm excited to be a part of this group.
Oh, God. Kelsey, what in the world are you doing? Kelsey. Tomorrow, people, if not, I haven't seen the other videos today. Tomorrow, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, everybody. You know what I'm about to say. I promise you, I will not do it. I promise you. Tell me exactly who she doesn't trust. Woo! You want me to replay it? I'll replay it. Let me play it again.
Love you and want relies with family, and I think for me,
Season.
everything that I am and embody is come from like a family like vibe, and I think that's where Steph and I align. That's where me and Aaliyah align.
Family environment is where Steph and I align, where Aaliyah and I align. I'm not going to make a video on it, I promise. But I'm telling you right now, if there's not at least a handful of videos tomorrow about this, I'm trying to practice a new space in which the only person I completely eviscerate is Stephanie White. I'm trying to turn that leaf. So the only people that you align with are Stephanie White and Aaliyah Boston, and that family mentality.
Our culture and everything we are kind of like relies with family, and I think for me, knowing that I have somebody believe in me, knowing I have a post player that believes in me, and I can get that same respect and vice versa, it just feels good to kind of be in the atmosphere where you're valued. And then it makes you put your best effort for everybody else. When they give to me, it's only right that I give back. I told my coach, I was like, I'll go through the wall for you and people like AB, because when people love you and want to see you do great and they can hold you accountable and know that it comes from love, it just makes everything better. It makes the process a lot easier. And it makes our growth. It makes it worth it, in so many ways. So I'm excited to be a part of this group.
Can y'all just trade Caitlin Clark now? Just trade her now. Get it over with. Just get it over with. Do not put us through this. Let me start my New York Liberty Unfiltered channel. Get me through this. I ain't doing a video on it. I promise. Let somebody else do it. I can't be in that damn negative mode. Look, folks. I ain't make a video on some of the stuff I saw that would have been old. I can't do it anymore. I can't go that direction. Trade her to New York, man. Get this shit over with. Go take Sabrina back and trade her to New York. I don't understand how in the world you don't mention your point guard. at all.
Thanks.
Michael, you're up. Chico next.
Yeah, just a quick one for Coach. Just what have you seen out of Raven Johnson during training camp, and what are you expecting out of her in her rookie year? And Aaliyah, if you want to take that too.
Yeah, her activity level, number one. I mean, she's very active on both ends of the floor. Defensively, she's elite, and that's something you never really worry about. I mean, we've drafted a lot of South Carolina players, here in Indiana, going back to Tiffany Mitchell when I was here, and you always know that they're.
Yeah, you drafted one last year and you cut her. You drafted one last year and you cut her. I don't think she got 3 days of practice in. This year you gave all these bums fucking 2 weeks, 2+ weeks. You ain't give, what was that, Bree Hall? You didn't give her a freaking 5 days last year. Yeah, you drafted all these players, but you didn't give that girl 5 days last year. She was supposed to be Lexi Hall's replacement.
Going to be ready on the defensive end of the floor, and Raven just has some really naturally gifted skill sets and intangibles on that end, and so she makes plays because of that. And her energy, like she is a great kick ahead guard. Like she gets us going in transition. She can get a rebound. She can get a steal. She's passing that thing ahead, and she really ignites a break because of that. Look, she's going to continue to grow. There's going to be ebbs and flows throughout the course of the year and a career. There always are, but I think every day she has an opportunity to step on the floor. She's hungry to learn. She wants to be coached. She wants to be challenged. And, having that kind of mindset and mentality is really invaluable.
She said everything. That was really good.
Wow, Aaliyah Boston, more fucking wonderful feedback. Oh, God, man. She said everything. You played with that girl for 2 years. You got nothing to say about the girl?
Thank you.
For real, she said nothing. You played with her for 2 years and you said nothing about her? Jesus Christ.
All right, thank you. We have time for just one more question. We'll go to Jennifer. Jennifer, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize. Chico,
Chico, we got a Chico in the building. Chico. We got a Chico, man. Chico. What's Chico's last name, bro?
said you'd be up. Chico, you're up.
Chico.
Steph, I know there's been conversations this year about Caitlin relinquishing some of the ball handling.
Wow, it only took 11 minutes and 42 seconds for one media member to ask one question about Caitlin Clark.
Duties. How did that idea kind of come about, and how did she take it? Was she on board from the beginning, or did you have to kind of convince her a bit?
This is not some revolutionary idea. I mean, I think when you watch professional sport, you see that, across the board. You see it in the NBA. You see it in the WNBA. We've seen it with players in our league too. It's just the way that people and teams play Caitlin is different than they play everyone else. It's the nature of her skill set, of what she brings to the table, and it's really the ultimate compliment. And so in order to alleviate how hard she has to work on every single possession, it's important to get her off the ball sometimes. When you think about what are the ways that you can rest while you're on the floor, that's one way. Now you get it, not 94 feet away, but what's half of 94? My math's not all that great, but 40 something, 30 something feet away from.
Half of 94 is 47. Clearly we have two people that don't know math very well. Let's continue.
The rim, I mean, it's better, and even better if it's second or third side of the floor when we've got a little bit of a rotation. And this is I know people are freaking out about this thing. It's not all the time thing either. It's just it's a way to help her load management. It's a way to help alleviate some of the extra stuff that's put on her shoulders throughout the course of a game.
You don't rest on the floor. I'm glad you said that there, Micro. You don't rest on the floor. So so make up your mind. Are you putting her in the corner or off the ball to rest? Or are you putting her off of the ball to actually do something? Because when she's off the ball, it seems more like she's not doing anything. And I will put some of that on Caitlin Clark herself. She has to cut without the ball. She can't just stand there like a statue. But then she has to be running, like they have to be running something for her to be moving, not just her randomly moving. What's the point of just cutting back and forth if the play isn't actually called for her? So that's the question. Are you putting her off the ball to call a play for her, or are you putting her off the ball to stand her in the corner and get some time to just breathe? Because if that's the case, you might as well put her on the goddamn bench. Put her on the bench. Let her rest on the bench. She doesn't have to rest on the floor. Resting on the floor might be the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. You rest on the bench, not on the court. So if she's going to be off of the ball, the play needs to be run for her, because the plays are typically not run for her when she has the ball. They're typically run for other people who she's setting up. Most of Caitlin Clark's offense seems to come off of her just doing a pull-up three, which I'm not the biggest fan of. A step back, again, not the biggest fan of. These are low efficiency shots. But they're not running plays for her when she has the actual ball in hand. So if you're running her off, run her off to get her the ball and score, not to have her just stand in the corner and suck her damn thumb. It doesn't, Uncle J.E. It does not sound like Caitlin's team. It sounds like they're trying to do everything other than make it her team. Like, this is nonsense. It's nonsense. I'm not crazy. I coached basketball. If she's running pick and roll, that pick and roll is not for her. It's for the damn roller or the pick and pop. It's not really for her. She's really the second option on a pick and roll. The first option is the person screen and rolling. It's absolutely unbelievable to listen to this type of crap and then compare it to the NBA. You want to know what I don't see them run when she has the ball going 94 feet? I don't see a screener coming her run a person into a screen. I see her literally dribbling the ball up the court by herself with no help. That's what I see. Anyone who knows basketball knows that a lot of times, what separates the point guard from the defender is a screener that comes from behind, set a screen, get that person off your point guard. And it's typically done pretty before half court. This is shit, man. This is shit. And if they want her to set back screens for people, they want her to screen for others to get others open. Fuck we. God.
That's something Leah's going to be obviously carrying the ball up and initiating some of the offense.
Point forward,
Heck
baby.
yeah, let's do it.
That's right. I mean, and you saw it a year ago. You saw it with AB. You got Kelsey on the floor, and look, we want to position our players to be successful. And sometimes it takes a little bit of tweaking in your thinking about how you can do that, and how you can do that. While resting them in live action is really important, because we don't want it to be on the other end of the floor. No.
All right, man. God almighty. That's so bad. Leah Boston, yeah, you want to be the point forward. Yeah, we see how that works out. Point forward. I want to see some of these comments. My God. These comments are a joke. This is a joke. Oh, here's a comment. Stephanie White took 2 separate shots at Cece in her off-ball answer, by the way. Referenced last year's playmaking without Cece as if they were fine last year without her. So they'll be fine this year with her off-ball. Sarcastically said she doesn't want Cece resting on defense, which not only implies that she's a bad defender, but also actively suggests that she's not trying on defense. Stephanie White wants Caitlin to be prime Klay Thompson so bad, a 3-and-D wing. Apparently, the only way to get player rest is being off ball, aka exactly what the defense wants you to do. They're not pressuring her for fun. The defense would rather the ball be out of her hands. You're just doing their job for them. Stephanie White wants Raven as her starting point guard so bad. She raves about Raven so differently than she does about Clark. It's hilarious.